Today, we're diving into the disturbing world of one of America's most infamous grave robbers and murderers, Ed Gein. Our story begins in a seemingly ordinary farmhouse, nestled amidst the quiet, rural landscape of Wisconsin. It was here that Edward Theodore Gein, born in 1906, lived a life that would eventually shock the nation and inspire some of the most iconic horror films of all time. Ed's childhood was far from normal. His father, George, was an alcoholic, and his mother, Augusta, a fanatically religious and domineering woman, instilled in him a deep fear of women and a morbid fascination with sin and damnation. She isolated Ed and his older brother, Henry, from the outside world, preaching about the inherent evil of humanity, especially women. In 1940, George Gein passed away. 4 years later, tragedy struck again when Henry died in a brush fire, a fire that some speculate Ed may have deliberately set. Alone with his mother, Ed's world revolved entirely around her. When Augusta finally died in 1945, Ed, then 39, was left utterly alone in the farmhouse. This, many believe, was the turning point that sent him spiraling into madness. With his mother gone, Gein's already fragile psyche deteriorated. He sealed off Augusta's upstairs bedroom and the downstairs parlor, preserving them as shrines to her memory. The rest of the house, however, began to transform into something truly grotesque. For the next decade, Ed Gein lived a reclusive life. He took odd jobs around Plainfield, often babysitting for neighbors, who described him as a quiet, shy, and eccentric man. No one suspected the unspeakable secrets hidden within his home. The truth began to unravel in November 1957. A local hardware store owner, Bernice Worden, disappeared. Her son, Frank, a deputy sheriff, immediately suspected Gein after discovering Gein had been the last person to see his mother. When authorities arrived at Gein's farmhouse, they were met with a scene that would forever be etched into the annals of true crime. The initial discovery was Bernice Worden's decapitated body, hanging in a shed, dressed out like a deer. But that was just the beginning. Inside the house, investigators found a horror show that defied imagination. They discovered human remains meticulously crafted into household items, bowls made from skulls, chairs upholstered with human skin, leggings, masks, and vests made of human skin, a face mask made from the skin of a woman's head, nipples found in a box, a heart in a saucepan, belts made from female nipples, skulls on bedposts. Gein later confessed to robbing graves in local cemeteries, primarily those of recently buried middle-aged women he believed resembled his mother. He exhumed bodies, taking parts to create his macabre collection. He also admitted to killing Bernice Worden and earlier Mary Hogan, a tavern owner who disappeared in 1954. Ed Gein's trial was a sensation. Declared legally insane, he was sent to a state hospital for the criminally insane. He spent the rest of his life in institutions, dying of cancer in 1984 at the age of 78. The legacy of Ed Gein extends far beyond the gruesome details of his crimes. His story captivated the public imagination, becoming the blueprint for some of the most iconic villains in horror history. Norman Bates from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, 1960, Leatherface from Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, Buffalo Bill from Jonathan Demme's The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. These fictional monsters, with their disturbing obsessions and skin-wearing habits, all owe a debt to the real-life horrors of Ed Gein. He showed us that true terror doesn't always come from supernatural forces, but can emerge from the darkest corners of the human mind, from a quiet farmhouse in rural Wisconsin. The tale of Ed Gein remains a chilling reminder of the capacity for evil and the thin line between sanity and madness. It's a story that continues to fascinate and horrify, proving that sometimes the truth is far stranger and more terrifying than fiction. Join us next time as we uncover another dark chapter from the past. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.